Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and today we're going to be talking about the game last night and the overall state of the New York Knicks. I was unable to give you guys my recap video last night, so I made sure to go live today to give you guys my overall thoughts of what's going on with the Knicks. They lost 3 straight games and are now 3-4 on the season and blowing a huge lead to the Atlanta Hawks. That third quarter was really hard to watch last night. So in this stream, I really want to get into the live chat. And if you're watching on replay, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section, more importantly, because I want to hear what the Knicks fans have to say. Because obviously there's a lot of things to talk about regarding the current state of this team. We started off hot, right? First game of the year, going up against a top dog in the Western Conference. We lose in overtime. It's a loss. We're like, okay, we fought hard. And then we have 3 big games at home against teams we should beat. We beat all 3 of them to go on a 3-game winning streak. We're 3-1. And then we have a big test against 3 good teams, and we lose all 3 of those contests. And now the Knicks sit at 3-4, and they have another big test tomorrow night. So if you're just tuning into the stream, whether you're live or watching on replay, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. I greatly appreciate that. Salute Knicks family. What's good? Rapper A Stone, welcome to the stream, my man. Tay says, what's the point of having Tibbs if we don't play defense and his rotations are atrocious? Yeah, Tom Thibodeau, his role on this team should be defense. And what we saw in the third quarter was abysmal. And I feel like that's how we should start this stream off, because that's really was the turning point of that game last night, was the third quarter. The Knicks were up big. They had a great first half. Playing great basketball, good ball movement in transition. The bench was playing well. And then all of a sudden, the third quarter, we had like 8 turnovers in 6 minutes, right? You're not going to win a ball game if you turn the ball over and you're that lackadaisical with the ball. And they can't play defense. So back-to-back games where this Knicks team goes up against 2 players that they were trying to trade for in the offseason, and they light us up. First, it was Donovan Mitchell, and that was DeJounte Murray. And he put up 36 points on us, 9 assists, and 5 steals, and 4 rebounds, 14 of 27 from the field, 5 of 12 from downtown, and a plus-minus of a plus 26. I mean, we had a chance because Trae Young was out in this game in that third quarter, but it didn't even matter because this Knicks team simply – they just – you know, the biggest problem with this Knicks squad that I'm noticing is we just don't have star power, and that's the very frustrating part of this team. And I think Knicks fans knew that going into the season, but now when you see the reality of it and you see it on, you know, with your own eyes, whether you're at the Garden or watching it on MSG at home, you can tell that this Knicks team is lacking that star to really take us over the top. Jalen Brunson, he had 20 points, 5 assists, 8 of 15 from the field with 3 turnovers. Julius Randle, after his strong start to the season, he's not looking that good. That last night was a bad Julius Randle game. 14 points, 6 boards, 4 of 12 from the field, 0 for 4 from downtown. RJ Barrett, he had 19, 5 and 5, 8 of 18 from the field. It just feels like this Knicks team, man, that they're relying a little too much on playing together, and it's not working, right? Does that make sense? Like, this Knicks squad feels like they're really trying to buy into the system that Coach Thibodeau is trying to implement here, but it's simply not working. Whether that system that Tom Thibodeau is trying to preach is outdated or not, I think a lot of Knicks fans have a lot of discussions to be had when it comes to Tom Thibodeau's system, because we know that Tom Thibodeau's system worked 3 years ago. Last year it did not, and now this year so far this season, it's simply not working. Now, I'm not sounding the alarm. I don't think that this is something that we should just be panicking about. It is early in the season. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. But at the same time, this Knicks team has to get their shit together, because when you have a lead, like 20-plus points, you need to protect the lead, right? In the NBA, no lead is safe. And if you go out there and dominate in the first half, that does not mean you win the damn game. You got to be able to hone in on defense, and that's how you win the ball game. And the fact that they got outscored 32-10 in the third quarter, we did not deserve to win that game, man. We did not deserve to win that game. And then now we have another test on Friday against the Philadelphia 76ers, who started off slow but are now a little red hot now. So that's a really big test again. Looking at the Knicks today, what any Angels asking for Spida was not that high. I would have done the trade. Yeah, listen, the Knicks were trying to get Donovan Mitchell. They offered a lot, but Danny Ainge wanted more. And now we're sitting here in purgatory as Knicks fans thinking like, wait a second, Danny Ainge wanted a lot, but maybe we should have pulled the trigger. I don't know. The biggest issue with this team that Knicks fans are going to have to grow to get used to is we're lacking star power. And we're hopeful that guys on this team can become stars like RJ Barrett, but RJ is not really stepping up to the occasion of being that star player so far this season. He is a player that does get off the slow start, so we are hopeful that he will get his rhythm going. He is playing a little better than he was early on in the season, but he's still not playing at the level where you expect a year 4 player to take that step, especially after coming off a big-time contract extension in the offseason. We bring in Jalen Brunson as the point guard to really organize things. You know, he wasn't a big issue for the game, but at the same time, I like that he took accountability, man. Jalen Brunson said that he takes credit for this loss. He, as the point guard, as the leader of this team, it is inexcusable for the squad to go out there in the third quarter and put up 10 damn points and get outscored 32-10. And then the fourth quarter, it was all the same, man. The game was lost by then. They just could not get going. And also, it felt like the Knicks had a lot of good looks offensively, but the shots just were not falling. And that's the really frustrating part about this game, where the defense collapsed as well whenever Mitchell Robinson was not on the floor. Mitchell Robinson, he's had a good start to the season, but at the same time, when he's in foul trouble and he's on the bench, this defense falls apart when Mitchell Robinson is not on the floor. I love Isaiah Hartenstein. I feel like he's a good piece to this team, but he's not Mitchell Robinson when it comes to the defensive side of the ball when he's on the floor. And then talking about the bench, Obi Toppin had a good little stretch, but he did shoot only 5 of 13 from the field. Quickly had 16 rebounds. Whoa, I did not notice that. Emmanuel Quickly had 11 points and 16 boards. And Cam Reddish had 6. D Rose only had 3 points. So this is just one of those games, man, where like it's so disheartening, right? It's so disheartening to watch this Knicks squad have that great of a first half where we're pumped up, we're going up against our rivals, the Atlanta Hawks, and then all of a sudden we just allow this Hawks team come out there in the third quarter and have way more sense of urgency, have way more sense of heart, play with more energy, and just basically run us out of the court, man. And that's really what it comes down to. Alvarado says RJ's not the star we all thought he was. We got to be honest. Listen, man. I'm not gonna write off RJ yet, but at the same time, you are right to the point where he has not proven it, and I feel like RJ has proved so far in his young Knicks career that he is somebody that does not get too high and not get too low, and he could bounce back. And I'm still gonna have my faith in RJ until proven otherwise. But at the same time, he needs to step up as well, man. If you get that contract extension like the way that the Knicks gave him in the offseason, the Knicks are looking at RJ to take that step as a young leader on this team. Take the ball and do something with it. Be a playmaker. Make the right reads, whether it's making the right, passes, making your shots at the rim, making your shots from the perimeter. Take over the games, bro. We gave you that contract in RJ Barrett, and he needs to step up. Julius Randle as well. When he plays good, this Knicks squad is a much better team. And last night, Julius Randle simply played terrible. And it's interesting because Julius Randle started off the season hot, and we're like, wow, Randle's playing better basketball. He's playing unselfishly. He's getting his teammates involved. He's not careless with the ball. He's pushing the pace. He's playing with energy. And now last night, you're like, okay, Julius, what the hell was that? So I really hope that Julius Randle learns from that, because last night gave all Knicks fans flashbacks of the Randle that we all grown to accustomed to get used to and hate on, right? There's a reason why, like, a lot of Knicks fans hate on Julius Randle. It's because of the performance that he just did last night, and the inconsistencies are really concerning. Next 2 games look really tough. Don't expect a win. Yeah, man, another big test for the Knicks. Randle looked like Randle from last year. ISO, turnover, etc. Yep, for sure, bro. The isolation Randle seemed to be back. It felt like he just tried to play hero ball again. He's like, okay, we're on a route. I got to put the team on my back. Isolation. And nope, did not work. Randle plays his best ball when he allows to play, when the game comes to him naturally, where he's not trying to be the hero. He doesn't feel like he has to be the guy. He can pass it off to Brunson to be the guy to handle the rock. When Randle feels like he needs to be the one to handle the rock and be the ball handler, that's where he falls apart. And that's where I think Julius Randle needs to realize that you're not that guy. You're just not a talent enough to be able to handle, to be the first option on a team. It's been proven through the years that you need at least one all-star to be a contender. Yeah, it's true, man. And we have all-star potential on this team, but right here, they're not really coming out, right? I think Jalen Brunson does have all-star potential this season, especially the way he started off the year. Julius Randle, when we were the 4th seed, he was our all-star. Now, I don't know if Randle's ever going to get back to that way, but that's the reality of it. RJ Barrett played like an all-star last year when the New Year's hit. I mean, he was averaging 23.5 points per game, but the problem with RJ is he always starts off the season slow, and you're not going to be an all-star if you cannot play all 82 games at a consistent level. So RJ got to be more consistent, but you're 100% right, man. This is a team that needs to hone in and buy into the system and play better defense and not be so careless with the damn ball. Watching the last few games, I feel like they tank in the second half as if they want to keep the pick in the top 15 during the deadline to trade it for a player. Now, this is definitely not what's happening, but it does feel like they're tanking in the second half just in terms of just giving up the game, bro. Like, I'm at the point where I don't care what the lead is at halftime. The Knicks got to come out there in the third quarter. And any Knicks fan knows that's been watching this team for their whole lives that the third quarter is historically not usually good for the Knicks, and they got to step up in the third quarter. Fire Tibbs. Enough is enough. I tired of seeing this. We are better than this. We don't need to be the laughing stock in the league. Now, this is definitely a Tom Thibodeau season where he's going to be on the hot seat. If the Knicks do not get their shit together and the Knicks lose and the Knicks are not even a playoff team this year, a play-in team this year, Tom Thibodeau might be gone. And that's a reality of the situation. I think every Knicks fan can agree with that. Spida is averaging like 31 points per game. Yeah, bro. I mean, the Knicks were going all in on him, and they just didn't get him, bro. It's that simple. I don't know what else to say. It's hard to dwell in the past. It's really hard to dwell in the Spida situation, but it's the worst when you go up against Donovan Mitchell and he drops 38, and then you go up against DeJounte Murray, another player the Knicks tried to trade for, and he drops 36. It's like, wow. So this Knicks team has a lot to fix. Now, I have a question for you guys. What do you think needs to change? Is it the rotations? Is it a specific player to step up? Is it the ball movement? Is it the defense? Is it second chance opportunities? What needs to change for this Knicks team to get out of their rut? Because basketball is a season of ups and downs. We started off the season hot, 3-1, and now we're on a 3-game losing streak to fall to 3-4. So I don't think the season's over, but I do think a lot of things needs to change in order for this Knicks team to get their, act together, right? So I want to ask you guys in the chat or anybody watching on replay, what do you feel like needs to change? Is it the system? Is it the rotations? Is it individual players? Is it them playing together? What is it? It all starts with Tibbs. He cannot start Evan Fournier, and he must give Obi and Cam much more time. Now, this is a good answer. He thinks this needs to change. I can see that. Evan Fournier, his role in this team is to shoot threes, and that's it. He cannot do anything else but shoot threes, and he's a liability on defense. He tries to take a lot of crazy shots. The ball's in his hand a little too much for my liking. I said it last year, man. We need to unload Randle. I know it's easier said than done. Yeah, it's a problem because Randle has a lot of years left on his contract for a lot of money, and you can't just get rid of him. And a team needs to be wanting Randle in order for us to get rid of him, right? One guy on Twitter got it right. We beat bad teams and we lose to good teams. Maybe make the play-in, and that's it. No hope for this season. So we have not beat a good team yet this year. All 3 of our wins are against teams that are trash. So this is a good point. All 4 of the losses are against good teams. So the Knicks have to be able to match up against these powerhouses in the Eastern Conference. The East is so good this year. Everyone's getting better. The Knicks pretty much have the same team as last year outside of the additions of Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein. So the big question is, are they ever going to be able to match up against better teams than us? I feel like we should have beat the Atlanta Hawks last night, bro. I really do that. So infuriating. Bench Fournier. Randle. Change the starting lineup. Now, what do you guys want to change in the starting lineup? Bench Fournier for Reddish? Or now Grimes is healthy? What type of starting lineup would you guys want to see? What did Randall do wrong? Play defense. Yeah, I think his defense has been a little lackluster. It's unfortunate because Randall started off the season well, and I was excited to see a different style of Julius Randle this year. But last night was one of those games, and we do have to realize, and I don't want to sound like being delusional or optimistic, but basketball is a long season, and there's a lot of basketball left to be played. It is a season of up and down stretches, but at the same time, what we've seen from this Knicks team in the 7 games that they've played is they have beat bad teams and lost to good teams. And if that's going to be the case for the entire season, there's pretty much no hope. We're going to be a mediocre squad this year. We're going to have some good games. We're going to be excited against like the Pistons and against the Magic and against the Rockets, right? But then when we go up against the Bucks, when we go up against the Cavaliers, when we go up against the Hawks, that's it, bro. That's the difference. That is the difference. Now, Sherwin's saying Randall's defense has been top 15 in the NBA. That's an interesting stat. I love to hear that. To be honest, if Randall's playing top 15 defense, where is the stat that you're getting this from? Because I'd love to look that up personally. Because this is good news to me. Great news to me. He needs to step up and continue that, man. More minutes for Obi. I mean, Obi is an interesting player. Sherwin says Obi Toppin defense is non-existent. Mitch and Randall can't be the only 2 players that plays defense. I think RJ's have a lot of responsibility on the defensive end, man. He's got to follow the best players and everywhere he goes. Bench Fournier and have Cam start in his place. Fournier cannot play defense. Yeah, perimeter defense from Fournier. I mean, Fournier is good at getting into the passing lanes barely, and that's it. Fournier is a liability. He's a cone out there. Cam Reddish is definitely a better defender. I really like Cam Reddish's ability to like have sleight of hand, right? To like knock the ball out. He has a good knack of getting to the passing lanes. So it's a fact. The Tibbs and Randall combination will never, ever work. Perimeter defense has been bad. Yes, it has. Ops have. Fugazi with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate the donation. Not to mention, I'm done with Tim's, man. I like him as a coach, but he has to set examples. If someone isn't playing defense, sit them down. Now, the one thing I've learned of Tom Thibodeau is he is a coach that holds his players accountable. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a head coach be more grumpy and angry than him. But you are right. He needs to set more examples. If you're not playing defense, your ass is going to be on the bench. And Tom Thibodeau is not a coach that babies players. He's the opposite of that style. If you're not playing good defense, you're not going to be playing a lot of minutes. And I think that's a big reason why Obi Toppin does not get as many minutes as Knicks fans want. Because as fun as Obi Toppin is, and with his dunks and his offense, his defense is a big liability. So I think you bring up a good point, right? If Evan Fournier is that liability on defense, is Tom Thibodeau going to bench him? Right? I think Knicks fans see it everywhere, but Tom Thibodeau doesn't. So what's your guys' thoughts in the chat about Fugazi's super chat? Do you think Thibodeau needs to set more examples? If someone isn't playing defense, sit them down. And who is that player? If there is a player out there that you feel like needs to be benched right now, who is it? Valentina says, Obi not as good as people think. I think Obi Toppin is he's been playing well in terms of shooting the ball from downtown this year. And we know what we're getting from Obi, but on the defensive end, you're not getting a lot. Obi fans, do you want Tibbs to not play Obi? Fournier is a better defender than Obi. Well, they play 2 different positions. So Fournier and Obi should be bench. Obi is bench. Obi comes off the bench. Nobody playing D other than Mitch. Everyone else would sit, essentially. Yeah, so just play 1-on-5. Mitchell Robinson versus the whole team. Listen, man, the defense that Tom Thibodeau tries to run here, it's about buying into the system and communicating and switching and playing on a string. And it doesn't seem like that's happening. The chemistry needs to be there, and the chemistry is the biggest issue right here. Now, that's an issue because when you're in a third season with the same coach, you'd expect continuity to be a factor in the defense working. A plus that this Knicks team has that I thought would help this team is continuity. Same system, same players, getting chemistry with each other. Because defense, it's not all about one-on-one playing good perimeter defense with this system. It's about communicating, calling out the screens, switching, not baiting in on, like giving up wide open threes too much, right? The defense has to be more consistent because the defense is the identity and should be the backbone of this team, and it's not. Obi doesn't D up, nor does he rebound. I feel like he can, though, so it's disappointing. It is disappointing, my friend. Tibbs must take more responsibility. At the press conference, Tibbs never took any responsibilities for our loss. Yeah, I like to see more accountability from him. You saw Jalen Brunson put the blame on himself. He's taking accountability. That's a leader. You heard RJ Barrett take accountability. You don't hear Randall or Tibbs taking their accountability, man. That's the issue. And that's just it. They do not communicate. You even see Tibbs screaming, talk. Yeah, listen, if you want to talk about what Tom Thibodeau's defensive system is about, I've said it already, but it's facts. You got to communicate. You got to be able to talk. Be vocal. Call out screens. Switch. That's what this defense is all about. Mitch has to stay out of foul trouble. He does, bro. I mean, he's so aggressive in the paint. And he's done a little better, but at the same time, we need Mitchell Robinson out there playing way more minutes. I mean, how many minutes did he have last night? 18 minutes from Mitch. That's terrible. And I think when Mitchell Robinson was not on the court, bro, the defense is not playing good. It's that simple. I mean, Mitch had 3 blocks and a steal in 18 minutes and 12 rebounds. He's way too valuable to this team. In my opinion, we need 2 stars straight up. We got too many quarters, but no dollars. We got to consolate players and picks. Yeah, Juan, we don't have a bona fide star. You're 100% right. I don't like this grumpy old man we have as a coach. Nice piece, Richie. It's going to take them half the year. I hope not, Joseph. But man, guys, if you're tuning into this stream for the first time, guys, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the Knicks Media live streams. It's all love. I know that the Knicks are not really making us proud as fans, but I do appreciate you guys hitting that like button and supporting Knicks Media. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, of course. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into these chats, man. It does well, man, because this is my therapy. And this should be all our therapy. Whenever the Knicks are good, whenever the Knicks are bad, I love coming on here to talk about my frustrations with this team, and we can all let it out together. And this is my therapy session with you guys. So I thank you all. To fix and figure it out, very deep team. Hawks gave them trouble. It'll be a fun come playoffs. Yeah, I mean, the Knicks got to figure a lot of stuff out before we talk about playoffs. Who wins the World Series? I say the Astros. Yeah, I say Houston as well. Screw the Phillies. But listen, man, let's talk about the next game tomorrow night. Philadelphia 76ers. We got Philadelphia, and then Boston, and then Minnesota and Brooklyn. So what's it looking like? What's the expectations for tomorrow night, guys? The Sixers are an interesting team because they started off bad, and now they're getting their act together. So what's the expectations? Sixers are what? 3 and 4? 4 and 5. I think this is a good opportunity for the Knicks to get back on track. I like the way the Knicks match up against the Sixers, but the X factor in this game is going to be Mitchell Robinson on Joel Embiid. Can Mitchell Robinson stay out of foul trouble? Because, oh my gosh, I remember last year I was at the Sixers and Knicks game, and it was James Harden's like first game as a Sixer, I believe, or something like that. And the whole game was Harden and Embiid shooting free throws. That was the entire game. And I freaking hated it. Every second of it. So the Knicks, they got to stay out of foul trouble, do not hack and whack, and play smart. Okay? Juan says, I thought Deuce should have played. I hate seeing RJ Brunson or Evan defending the 1 and 2. Deuce got defense. It's true, man. Deuce has so much defensive upside, and he's just sitting on the bench. Embiid might be out. Is that true? I didn't know that. Every one of our losses, Mitch was in foul trouble. He mainly get extra fouls because he has always to come over to stop Evan Fournier's man. I really believe that Mitchell Robinson is the key to this team. And if he keeps getting into foul trouble, we're going to lose. He is the anchor of the defense. He has Defensive Player of the Year potential this season, but he's not going to be able to reach that potential if he stays in foul trouble. And you're right. Evan Fournier gets beat. Mitch Robinson helps, and it's a foul. So Mitch got to do better. Fans, if this continues, we will have 3 top 18 draft picks. We can get the Thompson twins in top 5 pick. This team will not win 35 games. We don't have the talent to win more games. Hey, man, I really don't want to think about the draft right now. Their uniforms look nice, though. Facts, Christian. I 100% agree on Mitch. Mitchell Robinson is the key to this team. And I will stand on that. He deserved that contract extension. He is the anchor of this defense. And they got to continue to keep that man out of foul trouble. And it's on Mitch as well to do that, man. If you want to be the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, you can't get into your defensive foul troubles early. Simple. Mitch lowers his hands when defending the perimeter, and he makes cheap fouls reaching in. Yeah, Mitch got to be more disciplined, right? He's not perfect. I'm not saying that Mitchell Robinson is a perfect player right here, but he has so much defensive potential and defensive upside on this team that he needs to stay out of foul trouble, and that will make him like elite. Even though it's garbage time and short minutes, I was glad to see Grimes out there. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Grimes, first game healthy. Tibbs is easing his way in. I'm very, very interested to see how Tom Thibodeau really maneuvers this. Like, is Quentin Grimes going to take over? If I'm Thibodeau, I freaking bench Evan Fournier. You start Cam Reddish, and Grimes is off the bench. Or vice versa. You start Grimes if he gets going, and you bench Fournier, and then Reddish is off the bench, right? The last thing I want to see is Grimes not in the rotation because of Fournier, all right? Grimes does everything Fournier does, but plays better defense. Who should they hire if they fire Tibbs? I know some people talk about Quinn Snyder. I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to talk about that. I hope that doesn't happen because that means things aren't going well. Biggest issues. RJ has regressed. Julius still playing too much iso ball. Tibbs rotations. Fournier defense and needs to come off bench. Brunson is nice, but his height gets exploited. Tibbs rotations. So, I still got hope that RJ isn't regressing and he's gonna get his act together because we've all seen RJ Barrett enough to the point where we know that he plays poorly to start off the season and plays better as the season goes on. So that's my hope there. Randall for sure. Tibbs' rotations, yes. Fournier's defense, yes. Needs to come off the bench. Brunson is nice. We can't rely on Jalen Brunson to win us games, but he's definitely a better player. The best Nick last night was Stoudemire chilling in the stands. Oh, man, that's sad. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in to another Knicks Media live stream. If you did not already, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to cap this off at a 30-minute live stream. Tomorrow night, we got Friday Night Knicks in Philadelphia to take on the Joel Embiid-led 76ers if he's playing. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the Knicks Media live streams. I know it's upsetting. I know we're on a 3-game losing streak, but I still got a lot of faith in this young squad to battle adversity and come out on top and string together some wins, baby. Let's go, Knicks, okay? Let's go, freaking Knicks. Don't lose the hope, all right? Too early in the season. It's too early in the season, guys, right? I'm not telling you how to root for this team, but don't lose hope. Still have faith. Let's go, Knicks. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. Only 7 games into an 82-game season. I still believe in this squad. I still believe in R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Quickly, Dre Rose, all those fellas. I believe. I freaking believe. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Of course, let's go Knicks. All love. Go New York, go New York, go. And I'll catch you guys in my next video, in my next live stream. Peace out, everybody.